Imagine you're running a country big chair, motorcades, and the weight of the world on your shoulders. But here's the real question: how much do world leaders make? Is it just the official salary, or is there more beneath the surface? Today, we're comparing official paychecks, rumored fortunes, and the jaw-dropping perks of history's most powerful leaders, modern and historic. We'll adjust for inflation, cut through the spin, and reveal who lived large, who stayed modest, and who had access to wealth that makes a dragon's hoard look tiny. Let's dive in. How much do world leaders really earn? Let's start with a name everyone knows: Donald Trump. When Trump became president, he loudly announced he'd donate his $400,000 salary, taking just a symbolic $1. For Trump, that salary was pocket change. He was already a billionaire from real estate, branding, and TV. Unlike most leaders, Trump's wealth was established long before the White House. He had private jets, luxury resorts, and a global business empire. Most politicians get rich office. Trump walked in already at the top. The presidency was a side gig, not a financial upgrade. His real financial story was about the billions he controlled, not the salary he gave up. This set him apart. His lifestyle didn't change. If anything, it got more complicated with security and scrutiny. The real debate wasn't, is he getting rich from office? But, how does his existing wealth affect his presidency? Questions swirled about conflicts of interest, foreign guests at his hotels, and the intersection of business and politics. But, strictly by the numbers, Trump's presidential earnings were almost nothing. His financial power was global, and the official salary was a rounding error. Trump's case shows that for some leaders, personal wealth can completely overshadow the perks of office. It's a unique example, a leader whose financial identity was set long before politics. For Trump, the presidency wasn't about the money. It was about the power and the platform. His wealth changed the conversation, making his time in office a different kind of financial story. Instead of seeking riches, he brought them with him. The result? A presidency where the official paycheck was irrelevant, but the financial influence was massive. Trump's story is a reminder: sometimes the richest person in the room doesn't need the job at all. In the world of presidential paychecks, he's the ultimate outlier. Let's see how others compare. Now let's talk Vladimir Putin, a leader whose finances are shrouded in mystery. Officially, Putin's salary is modest, around a couple $100,000 a year. But the rumors? They're on another level. Investigations suggest he may secretly control a fortune that could make him the world's richest man. We're talking palaces, super yachts, and assets hidden behind layers of loyal friends and proxies. Official documents show a government salary, but reports point to a vast, shadowy empire. The alleged mechanism: a network of oligarchs, state companies, and offshore accounts. His name isn't on the deeds, but many believe he controls it all. The scale? Hundreds of billions, maybe more. The infamous Putin Palace on the Black Sea, worth over $1 billion, symbolizes this hidden wealth. Officially it's not his, but the connections are hard to ignore. If true, his salary is pure theater, a performance of modesty while wielding unimaginable resources. This isn't about a paycheck, it's about power so vast it blurs the line between personal and state wealth. Unlike Trump's public billions, Putin's alleged fortune is built through and alongside his grip on power. The result: a leader whose true financial reach is almost impossible to measure. Is it the official salary, or the rumored empire? The answer changes everything. With Putin, the story is less about earnings and more about the system he commands. It's a masterclass in plausible deniability, and a reminder that some fortunes are hidden in plain sight. When it comes to presidential wealth, Putin's case is a world apart. Let's move to another kind of power. Next up, Xi Jinping, China's top leader. His official salary? Around $22,000 a year, shockingly low for the head of the world's second-largest economy. But focusing on Xi's paycheck misses the real story. His true power comes from controlling the entire Chinese state and its vast resources. Xi doesn't need personal billions when he commands state-owned enterprises, banks, and infrastructure. The state provides everything: residences, transport, security, and limitless resources for national projects. Investigations suggest his extended family may have wealth, but Xi himself projects austerity and anti-corruption. His influence is more emperor than CEO. He directs trillions, shapes industries, and funds global initiatives. The distinction: wealth isn't just what you own, but what you control. For Xi, the power to mobilize a nation's economy is the ultimate currency. His lifestyle isn't about personal luxury, but about absolute access and authority. Compared to Trump or Putin, Xi's wealth is measured in national, not personal terms. The lines between state, party, and economy are blurred. He sits at the center. His modest salary is symbolic. His real wealth is the power to shape a superpower. In this model, the richest leader isn't the one with the biggest bank account, but the one who controls the most. Xi's story shows that in some systems, control is more valuable than cash. Let's look at a different era. Now let's rewind to Franklin D. Roosevelt, FDR, who led the US through the Great Depression and World War II. His presidential salary was $75,000 a year, over $1.5 million today. But FDR was already wealthy, born into the patrician Roosevelt family. He had estates, investments, and lived in comfort before and during his presidency. His wealth gave him independence and a life of luxury, but he wasn't a billionaire or a business tycoon. FDR's power came from his political skill and office, not just his bank account. Despite his privilege, he championed policies for the common man, like the New Deal. His lifestyle was elite, sailing, estates, entertaining, but more in line with a traditional statesman than a modern mogul. Unlike totalitarian leaders, his wealth was personal, legal, and transparent. He paid taxes, and his financial situation was public knowledge. FDR represents the independently wealthy leader who uses privilege for public service, not personal empire building. His story highlights how wealth and leadership could coexist in a democratic system. The salary was significant, but his overall financial picture was rooted in old money. FDR's legacy, a patrician president who led in crisis, with wealth that enabled but didn't define his leadership. Now let's see what happens when the state is the fortune. Enter Joseph Stalin, Soviet dictator, where the idea of a personal salary is almost meaningless. Officially, he had a nominal salary, but it was irrelevant. Stalin didn't own property or amass a personal fortune. The state was his piggy bank. He lived in luxury, lavish dachas, Kremlin apartments, private trains, all provided by the state he controlled. Fine foods, imported goods, armies of staff. His needs were met, even as ordinary citizens struggled. Stalin's wealth wasn't in a bank account, but in his absolute command over state resources. He didn't buy luxury, he ordered it. The entire Soviet system existed to serve his comfort and security. Ironically, in a state built on equality, the top leadership lived in secluded privilege. Quantifying Stalin's earnings is impossible. His official salary was negligible, but his access was unlimited. He lived like a modern czar, but without private ownership. The difference: wealth through ownership versus wealth through control. Stalin's lifestyle was a direct result of his political dominance, not personal accumulation. Comparing him to FDR or Trump is like comparing different species. The systems and definitions of wealth are worlds apart. Stalin's power made the concept of a paycheck obsolete. His wealth was the Soviet Union itself, at his command. In this world, control, not cash, is king. Let's look at another revolutionary leader. Now, Mao Zedong, founder of modern China, followed a similar path. Mao's official earnings were minimal, but his lifestyle was anything but austere. He lived in grand villas with private pools and armies of staff, all state-provided. Like Stalin, Mao didn't own these luxuries, but had exclusive use and total control. The paradox: revolutionary rhetoric, but imperial comfort. Mao's power meant the state catered to his every need, even as millions struggled. His wealth wasn't in assets, but in absolute authority. The leader's comfort was paramount, even as the nation faced hardship. For Mao, the question of earnings is irrelevant. His power was his wealth. He was a modern emperor, with state-sponsored luxury and total control. In this model, power is the ultimate currency. So, what have we learned? From billionaires to leaders with hidden fortunes to those who control entire states, official salaries are just the tip of the iceberg. Sometimes the richest leader doesn't need a paycheck at all. Wealth can mean personal billions, state-sponsored luxury, or the power to command a nation's resources. The financial picture is rarely simple. It's a mix of history, secrecy, and power. Which leader's situation surprised you most? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe for more deep dives into the world's hidden stories.